Kindy Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindy crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindy Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. Joining me again, returning guest, Amy Hersh. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It's so good to be talking to you again and to be seeing you on Zoom. The audience can't see that, but I can. See, good to see your smiling face.
All right. Well, before we get into what you've been up to, everybody who's listening, please go back and check out last season, as Amy was a guest then as well. All right. Well, Amy, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
Well, I recorded this new song, which was a hoot to record. And I've been, fortunately, because of the restrictions being lifted in the world, I've been able to play in person at a couple of libraries and a couple of hospitals every week. So I've been busy doing that. It's been so great to get back outside again.
Isn't it? That's, yeah, I can feel the mood lighten, I think, as I've progressed through this season and mandates have been lifted and people are getting back out in front of people. It's great. Yes.
And it's wonderful to see the little kids. I do this program I call Rock and Roll for Little Ones at libraries, and it's kids younger than 5 years old. So for a lot of them, it's the first time they've seen another human being, another little kid. For the first time, it's so precious. And they look and they can't believe it. And you can see the synapses happening and the wheels turning. You think, oh my God, that's a child. I'm going to go over there and pat it on the head. It's so cute.
My daughter is 2. And, so obviously she, her first formative year was like during the pandemic.
Right.
And she, once exposed to other little kids, it's just amazing. They blossom and she realizes, hey, there are other little people like me. It's not just bigger people.
Right.
So she's learning how to interact with kids her own age now, which is great.
Yes, they kind of orbit around each other and they pat each other on the head and then they start to play a little. It's precious.
Steal each other's toys.
Yes, right. Dance.
Exactly. All right. Well, we are going to talk today about a very special song that you've written about a very special animal, Marv the Shelter Kitty.
Yes. All Marv right. The Shelter Kitty. Marv is my cat, Marvin. And you hear a banjo on it. I heard it in my head. I had to be a country western song or like an Appalachian song because it's about going to the country. So I wrote it for a banjo. I don't play the banjo, but my engineer is a wonderful banjo player. So he played the banjo on it and I played the guitar. And we had the most fun recording it. It was just a hoot. Well, Marv is 12 years old now, but still acts like a kitten. And I got him when I was working at the Bronx Zoo. I worked at the Bronx Zoo for a long time. And a friend of mine in my office went to a shelter to get a couple of cats. And as she was leaving, this guy was bringing in Marvin because he couldn't keep him anymore in an apartment in Manhattan. So she said, oh, I'll take him home too. I'll find him a good home. So everybody in my office met him before I actually met him. I was the last one. And I said, oh my goodness, I have to take this guy home. So a week later, he moved in, made himself at home immediately. And he'd always been a city cat. He was an Upper West Side Manhattan cat, never been outside before. And so when he moved in with me, he was just stunned by everything he saw. And you'll hear I mentioned that he says hi to a deer, and that literally did happen. I mean, I couldn't let him out, because of ticks and other critters, but he was always in the window looking outside. And the first time he saw a deer, the look on his face, he was stunned. If you ever saw a cat absolutely stunned and amazed, that was Marv. And the cat and the deer actually came close to the window, and they started vocalizing with each other. So Marv was going this weird noise, and deer actually do make noise. You don't hear them. They make this weird little barking sound, very quiet. He was going woof, 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 and Marv was going. It was this whole conversation going back and forth because Marv had never seen a deer. I don't know if the deer had ever gotten that close to a cat to have a conversation, but it was fascinating. So seeing the country where I live through his eyes was really fascinating. It taught me to see the country differently because this was the first time for him. He'd never seen the moonrise of trees, things like that. So it was just lovely.
Well, what a fun life. He gets to be a city cat, and then he gets to be a country cat. So
Right.
he gets to experience all the best sides of life. Yeah, we had a cat that was mostly a house cat for the longest time. But then when we experimented letting her go outside,
right,
all of the cat instincts kicked in.
Yeah.
And she became a stalker, and then eventually she became a hunter, and would gift us with chipmunks and all sorts of stuff. But
yes,
she wouldn't kill them, but she would bring them into the house and let them go, and then we'd have to chase the chipmunk.
That must have been lively.
Oh, my mother loved it.
They do that because they do that as a present for you. A friend of mine has 2 cats, she and her family, and took her purse, got in the car to go to work, put her hand in the purse in the car to take out her keys, and took out a mouse. The cat had left a mouse in her bag. So,
very much a sign of love, a gift from a cat.
Yes, they think you're their kitten and they're feeding you. That's the cat behavior. But Marv's cat behavior was he's unlike any cat I've ever had. He's amazing. He loves music. When I play the guitar, he sits at my feet. But when I play Roll Over Beethoven, he goes crazy. That's his favorite song. He runs up and down the stairs and back and forth. He loves Roll Over Beethoven every time I play it. And he's one of these cats who understands every single word you say to him. Mm-hmm. So I was having trouble getting him to the vet. He's a little guy. He's only about 10, 11 pounds. It takes 4 people to hold him down. And so I went to take him for his shots, and the vet was there, and the vet tech, and he was sitting there absolutely quiet. And the vet said to me, "What happened?" And I said, "Marvin, I had a little talk." She said, "Really?" Looking at me like, this crazy cat lady is here. The vet tech looked at me, she's completely nuts. I said, "Yeah, we had a little talk." And so the vet said, "Marv, did Amy tell you that you can be calm and everything is going to be okay, and I'm here to take care of you?" And Marv turned his head around and looked at her and said, "Down." Look at that. And she said, "Well, that's it. We know exactly what we're dealing with. He knows every single word." So she and the vet tech couldn't stop laughing. So he has a complete character all his own.
Well, here's to Marv and the song that he inspired, Marv the Shelter Kitty by Amy Hersh.
1, 2, 3. You are a city kitty, Marv, in a shelter you were found. Now you're coming home to live with me to the country we are bound. Oh yes, there's deer here, deer in the backyard, Marv. Not a dog or a cat or a bird or a squirrel. Country life is a whole new world. It's a deer in the backyard, Marv, and a fawn on the lawn here, Marv. You've never seen a deer before. She's got a big brown nose and big brown eyes and long thin legs and hoofs instead of toes. The deer's looking back at you. She wonders as she goes, who's that cute cat in the window? I'll stop and say hello. And yes, there's deer here, deer in the backyard, Marv. Not a dog or a cat or a bird or a squirrel. Country life is a whole new world. It's a deer in the backyard, Marv, and a fawn on the lawn here, Marv. Marv, you make the most of every moment and of every day. Napping in the sunshine, then time for us to play. At night you like to snuggle and sniff the evening breeze and watch the silver moon rise through the green leaves on the trees. Yes, there's deer here, deer in the backyard, Marv. Not a dog or a cat, no bird or a squirrel. Country life is a whole new world. It's a deer in the backyard, Marv, and a fawn on the lawn here, Marv. So many new smells and sounds and sights to be seen, Marv. I'm happy I adopted you and you adopted me. Oh, yes, there's deer here, deer in the backyard, Marv. Not a dog or a cat or a bird or a squirrel. Country life is a whole new world. It's a deer in the backyard, Marv, and a fawn on the lawn here, Marv. There's a deer in the backyard, Marv.
All right, that was Marv the Shelter Kitty. So Amy, let everybody know where they can find that song and all of your other songs and how they can find and connect with you on social media.
Well, I'm on Facebook. Look under Amy Hersh, AMYHERSH, Kids Tunes. And my website is amyhershkidstunes.net. And I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. So take a look there. And I'd love to hear from you. Especially love to hear from you if you have any pets that you got from shelters.
And special shout out to Amy. Go check out my music video for Kindy Rockstar. Amy makes a cameo in that video.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so fun.
It was. All right, Amy. Well, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Be well. Keep up with the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay.